Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my online students for my TOEFL course, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer of the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you completed my pronunciation pretest, so the purpose of the pretest is to see if you have any problems with the main vowel and consonant sounds of American English. So if you do, I will let you know, and after each area, you'll notice after each lesson there are specific videos in my course to help you improve your intelligibility in each of these areas. So let's see. Here we go. Good luck.
But boat, wrong grow, honor over, father though.
Okay.
Pat pot, map mop, tack talk, and on, mac mock. Right roll, wrong lie.
A little bit of trouble with those diphthongs. Brown, broil, broil.
Load, loyal, pie, pond.
Okay, I think the owl, pound, brown, loud. That, you need to work on that particular diphthong in lesson number 9.
Gates, gets, leads, lets, mates, nets, bleed, bled, dean, den, meet, mites, Pete, pite, leap.
Now you're having some trouble here. It's meet, mit, Pete, pit, leap, lip.
Lip, seat, sit, eat, hit.
Yeah, I think lesson number 11 is also something that you want to take a look at. Work on pronouncing those two minimal pairs, those E and I. And excuse me for just a second. I'm going to go get some notes here. I'll be right back. Okay, I got it. Okay, here we go. Let me plug in the computer so I have some power. Okay, let's keep going.
Look, luck, took, tool, toe, cooled, cool.
The first word, look, luke, luck. Lesson number 12 also, I think you should work on that lesson.
Match, mash, cheap, sheep, feature, fisher, shaved, shaft, shear, shear.
Now, it looks like the CH in the initial position and the SH in the initial position, that's where you need to do more of your practice here. So let's just work on that for a minute. So cheap, sheep. Cheer, sheer.
Of, alf, have, fine, vine, fan, van.
Need to make that initial V sound. Van, vine.
Wafer, waver.
So lesson number 14, I'd like you to practice the V sound in the initial position. Of course, if you want to do some voice recording exercises at the end of the practice video, you can do that. You can send those comments to me by email.
How, habit, woo, rehash,
Okay.
behavior, hates, batsman, beaten, important, brightening, hate track, threatened, mid.
Okay, what I want you to work on here, even if you don't pronounce it, it's not a major problem, but at least you want to be aware that this sound exists in English. It's called the glottal stop. Notice here, you're pronouncing the T in the middle of these words, right? So you're saying important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. But in American English, a lot of native speakers, they're going to say Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. So in lesson number 15, focus on the glottal stop so you can be a little more familiar with what the sound is and how we pronounce it. Okay, here we go.
Measure, fragile, freezer, legend, legion, engine, Asia, large, Asia.
Okay, the hard sound for you is measure, Fraser, lesion. So that's a palatal consonant. You can focus on that j. It's kind of like a Z and a J kind of coming together to form a fairly complicated consonant sound there.
Cake, cake, sink, sack, game, game, cap, gap, leak, lack.
Now you're pronouncing the K and the G correctly, but one thing I want you to be aware of is when the G's at the end of the word, because it's a voiced consonant, the vowel is going to be slightly longer. And then the K, a voiceless consonant, when it's at the end of the word, the vowel which precedes it will be a little shorter. So we'll say cake, keg, sink, sag, lake, lag.
Lean, rear, better, luggage, rugged, other, right, lights, committed. Base, base, flap, flap, cap, cap, lap, lap, pay, pay.
It's tough, I'll be honest with you. I have trouble, especially when you put the P and the B at the end of the word. It's hard for me to understand which of these words you're actually saying. So the tip I gave you in lesson number 17, it still continues with this area. So if you look at the P, a voiceless consonant, the vowel before should be shorter. The B, a voiceless consonant, makes the vowel before it a little longer. So then, the main reason a native speaker is going to know the difference here is how long you say the words. So flap, flab, cap, cab, lap, lab. So just remember that. So I think lesson 17 and 19 are similar. You're having a similar problem in both of those lessons.
Lice, lies, sip, zip.
It's lice, lies.
Sue, zoo, Mace, Nez, Eliza, Eliza.
Okay, I think the Z sound you need to work on, so that is lesson number 20.
Multiple, Robert, example, pressure, principle, number, people, philosopher.
Good.
Volcanism, written, maximum, question, summer, reason, chasm, often.
Good.
Tip, dip, cart, cart, tide, tide, train, drain, fat, fat, team, dream.
Okay, the same thing as lesson 17, 19. The P, a voiceless consonant, the T, the vowel before should be a little shorter. When you have the D at the end, the vowel's longer. So then, I'll say this. Cart, card, tight, tide, fat, fad. So it's kind of like short, long. So that's something that's a similar problem you've had several times in this particular pretest. So I think that's something I would write down if I were you. Put this in your speaking journal, right? So there's certain things you're going to learn as a student in my online TOEFL course. And one of the first things is when a voice consonant's at the end of the word, the vowel before should be longer. When a voiceless consonant's at the end of a word, then the vowel is shorter. So that's something you want to remember. All right, let's keep going.
Tie, tea, breeze, breath, teeth, teeth, throw, so, worse, worthy.
Not bad, but again, the same rule applies here. So let's just take a look at breath, breathe, teeth, teeth. So again, the TH sound, when it's not vibrated, it's a voiceless consonant. So then I say breath, breathe, and I say that second one a little longer, or teeth, teeth. So what do we know right now? We know some things, and I'm going to learn a little bit more about you in just a minute, but first of all, based on Part A of the pretest that you completed, here are the lessons in the pronunciation area of my course you want to focus on the most. Lesson number 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, and finally lesson number 24. That's it. So what you do is you want to go through those lessons. I recommend you even read out loud with me as you're practicing the exercises. And then if you want, there are voice recording exercises at the end of each lesson. You can complete those exercises and send them to me. I'll listen to them and I will tell you whether or not you have mastered the specific sounds in that lesson. So I will kind of guide you along there. So you have a few things that you're working on right now. So anyway, now we're going to listen to your part B. All right, let's continue on here. So now you're going to tell me a little bit about yourself. So what is your educational background and your work history? Why is it important for you to improve your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English? And what do you hope to achieve in this course?
I am a Belgian pharmacist, and I was working as a pharmacist in a retail pharmacy for, I would say, 3 years.
Now, I would just say I worked as a pharmacist for 3 years. So usually when we use past perfect or past progressive tense, we talk about an ongoing action which occurs in the middle of another past action. I was watching TV when somebody knocked on the door. That kind of a thing. So again, I think the simple past would work better in that specific situation.
After that, I moved to the Federal Agency for Medicine and Healthcare Products in Belgium.
Now notice how medicine, but it's medicine. Medicine, and the word the, make sure that TH sound, that's one of the things you're working on based on your pretest. When you pronounce that sound the tongue needs to be between the teeth. The.
Belgium. It is an agency similar to the FDA here. We are busy with the regulation for medication, medical devices, and homeopathic medication also.
Okay.
And there I was first file manager for what we call TSA, which is the
first what? I couldn't quite understand that. Hold on a minute.
Medication also. And there I was first file manager for what we call TSA, which is the specific.
I had a little bit of trouble in there from about 35 to 40 seconds, so you kind of jumbled some of your words.
Disease coming from the cows, transmittable spongiform encephalopathy.
Now you're getting a bit of a non-native speaker accent in here, pretty much.
After that, I became file manager for the centralized procedure, which is an European procedure for registration of medication.
You can say European.
Then it's to put a new medication on the market in Europe in the 28 countries in the same time.
I would say at the same time, not in the same time.
4 years later, I became staff collaborator for the director. And still 4 years later, I became director general for the agency.
I would say the general director, not director general. So adjectives in English, they come before, not after the nouns.
And I had a lot of responsibility.
Okay.
And that's my work history.
Okay, thank you for telling me that.
It's important for me to improve my pronunciation and the way I speak the American English because I want to get my license for exercising my as pharmacist here in the States.
Okay.
I already passed what we call the FPGEC exam,
Good. Congratulations to you.
and now I have to pass the TOEFL test and get 26 at least for the speaking sections.
Yes.
And that's why I am now trying to pronounce better my American English.
Okay.
And hi.
Now, it's going to be a while. I'm going to be honest with you. You have some language use issues. You also have pronunciation issues. So together, these problems are compounding your intelligibility, making it harder for me to understand what you're saying. So I would put your speaking right now maybe at about 20 or 22 points out of 30, but I will learn more about your speaking as you begin submitting practice tests in my course, and I'll give you more direction kind of as we go.
Hope that with this course I will get my 26 and keep my 24 for the writing section.
Yes.
And then pass the TOEFL
Exactly.
as soon as possible and start my internship to become pharmacist in California.
Good. I live in California. Right. And guess what? You become a pharmacist in California, you're talking about some serious money. We're talking minimum maybe $100,000 to $150,000 a year for your career. You have one of the top careers here in the United States, so it's a very good, very promising career. And think about it. Your English is important to you not just for the TOEFL exam, but you want to be able to communicate fluently and clearly to those people that you are conducting business with, right? You'll be giving people instructions on how to use the medicine that the doctors have prescribed to them. So you have to, and remember, you're working a lot with old people. So it becomes even more important because old people, I'm old, I'm 51, but you'll be working with people that are 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90 years old. So your pronunciation has to be even more clear than normal people because you'll be communicating with people, elderly people who do not hear very well. So you have to really work hard on speaking loudly and as clearly as you can. That way your clients or your customers, they will be able to understand your instructions when you give them those instructions after giving them their medication. Okay, so what do we know? There's a few things here. I'm going to give you what's called an intelligibility score. So 1.1 is a high beginner, and then 7.0 is near native speaker. Here's where you want to be. You want to be advanced 5.1 or higher. Unfortunately, you are not there yet. But if you were there, you wouldn't be taking my course in the first place. Am I right? So I'm going to put you intermediate level, about 3.9 out of 4. So you do have some language use issues. You sometimes have some fluency problems. You're trying to find the right word to say. You have some pauses and some hesitations in there. And according to my pretest results, you do have some specific vowel and consonant sounds that you're trying to work on. All right, so those are my comments to you. Thank you. Thank you for completing my pretest, and I hope that you found that my comments are helpful in helping move you in the right direction. So now you know. You just don't know what you already knew. You knew you had pronunciation problems, but you didn't know what. Now you know exactly which vowel and which consonant sounds you need to practice more in order to speak more clearly. So what's the next step? The next step, start going over these recommended lessons. Go through all pronunciation lessons, of course, but focus more on the ones I've outlined in this video. And also, beginning tomorrow, start sending speaking practice. Try to send me 2 or 3 speaking practice tests every week, and I will continue to give you comments. Now, to be honest, I'm going to be honest and fair. Your problems are pretty extensive. You may not be able to solve all these issues in just 30 days, right? I have been working with thousands and thousands of students. I have a pretty good idea where you stand. You're probably looking at about 2 to 3 months of very intense study before you overcome the problems that you have and get that 26 on the speaking. But it is possible. Just remember, every day do something to improve your speaking. All right?